Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and this is going to be the third episode of eClip Reviews. If you continue sending this much requests, I will need very long time to record and review all of these tracks, and I will try to do as most as possible. And there are certain order which I'm trying to follow, but yeah, they are coming more than I'm able to request, so I will go one by one, and I hope that you will understand. And maybe we should make a pause with sending the request for a while now until I go through all of them that I have already. And I'm not sure, but there's over 20 so far, I think. And anyway, let's start with it. So I cut the extra hours. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is a track from Brzi. It's, Neurotrancemitter, version 1.
There are different neurotransmitters, each having different tasks. Our brain consists of billions of neurons, specialized cells which communicate with each other. Neurotransmitters are small molecules that transmit signals from one neuron to another, called a synapse. In this way, they control all our feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions. Feelings and it's time to enjoy low. And time for dopamine to spread happiness all over the brain.
Awesome, really good, really good. The track has powerful kick and bass, pretty well designed. There are certain changes I will do on the bass line for this type of the track. So let's start from the overall picture. So let's categorize the track, and this approach I will advise to all of you. So when it comes to this, when you come to the end, you should try to put yourself into the perspective of somebody that listened to this track for the first time, which is really hard thing to do. But if you follow chronologically how I'm going to do in this video, maybe this will help you. So the whole vibe of this track is that is deep and somehow powerful. It's a little bit darker vibe. I wouldn't call it darker, I would call it deeper. And this is something that I discovered for my music also, that I don't know, I like when I really love the music that touches you a bit deeper. Sometimes I like more emotional melodic content, but I have bunch of the tracks in this style, like deeper and energetic. So considering that the bass line sounded really good, but even though I think it's a little bit too closed, even though I know that why most of you are doing this type, and in the previous video the Hasid did the same, as the bassline sound way cleaner when the kick and bass are on solo. But what is the main point is that you should not design your bassline for the kick and bass dry parts, because this is only a small segment. Even though you might think there's going to be more of this buzziness if you open the cutoff a little bit. I'm not sure, did you use the fade out on the each note, but somehow the notes are they are closed. When the kick and bass are going on solo, it's really good. But once you start transposing these notes, those upper notes are really short, like boom boom. if you use the sample, then I would consider making it in audio. Maybe you can follow some of videos that I made on my YouTube channel, or find a way to have it in MIDI, because this is how also once when I design my bass lines, I always try to transpose to see how those upper notes will behave on once I transpose them. So if the envelope is too close, then they're going to be like boom boom instead of bum bum. You know, like it's like they are shorter in their length once you transpose them in the upper keys. And also there's something around 300. You can hear that clearly when the notes are up, like boom boom. There's something like around 300, 350 maybe. In this area, I would consider maybe reducing for 2 dB. You should find which frequency it is, as I don't have time now to analyze it. If I just open a FabQ on this track, I would be able to find this frequency. But anyway, but it's around 300 definitely. So in general, what I believe the track is missing, one a bit more powerful part. So when it started like developing, everything was really good and everything was fine. There was really nice form. There's a track flow that is pretty good, and also the choice of the sounds, the atmosphere was there, like this spark which I'm talking about lately in most of the videos. So somehow the track already was keeping my attention, which is the most important thing. Now everything that I'm going to speak are only the details. So the advice that I mentioned is that you try to analyze what is exactly that you wanted to do. If you didn't have an idea, if you were just jamming around until you found something, try to analyze what is that is touching you. Why did you make a certain choice of these sounds? If that's a deeper emotion, that means you will want more of the sounds like wow, because they're gonna like scratch to the track. They're gonna provide this really nice deep emotion, or they're gonna touch you on a deeper levels, like inside. This is how I describe this, and this type of the music which I really like. It's somehow like nighttime progressive, something like this, which is generally missing on the scene, but that's another story. So everything from the beginning is really nice. I'm just want to consider this transient over here from the beginning. Let me just reload the page. No, it's all fine. What I wanted to say here is that there's a melody coming in this part. Somehow I hear that after this boom, like that the melody is like continued, even though you put it on a delay, but somehow like you should keep only the last part. So how I would do this is I would put this only the last 3 notes on a delay, like not to catch anything before it. So you can do that by if you use on send, if you use on mix. Yeah, so this is the difference. If you have the melody and you have it on insert on your channel, and you keep the mix of the delay down, and then once you open it, it's gonna capture all the notes from the melody, and it's gonna start repeating all of them, even this beginning, like For this case, I would create an FX track and put the delay on the external separate track, and then I would put mix all the way up, and then I would use only the last notes, like ta-na-na-na-na-na, and only when they start, you make automation that you send from that level. That way it's gonna catch only the last 2 notes, and it's gonna repeat only these last ones, like ta-na-na-na-na-na, without these first ones, because these first ones repeated, and I had a feeling like the track is continued to, or the melodies continue from the beginning, like it's still in a loop. So it's straight after. So it's like or you maybe kept after the boom, maybe you kept just a small loop of the melody again. I wouldn't do that. I would do automate, as I already said just before. When the boom hits, I would keep only this last notes with delayed, like it'll have a way more sense. It's a small detail, and trust me guys, like it's all about these small details. How you manage to work on these details. This is the moment when the track is going to, when everybody will start to recognize it as a like advanced level, and actually the jump from certain level to advanced level. So it's all about these details, and you will see the mostly is in these transitions, even though this track had a really good one later on. But anyway, so this is what I would do here. Okay, more. Okay, 101. Here, like jan, because to continue on the previous video, I did say that you shouldn't make them like going too often, like single shot sounds, and I really like how you position all of this. But if you have like single shot and then dry part, the next single shot after 4 or 8 bars, then you need to do a little bit more on these things. So you can place 2, 3, 4 different single shots and to create a certain story. So once it happens, it needs to happen big time, because you cannot just place like just one random sound, because then again it's not enough. So you have like one single shot, then you have a dry groove going. The next time you can do like 3, 4, 5 of them, like to create a certain thing, like maybe some rise, like short sweep, like shh, then maybe some rhythms like and then this sounds like so it needs a little bit more things to happen in this position, like on 111 and this, yeah, not 11, 108. So this one is just not enough. Yeah, this tan, I just think it's not enough. I will put more of single shots in that position. Okay. Everything else is great. 215. This part, I don't know, it did not bring the track to another level from this previous part. There's this small open head like but I would add a little bit more to it. This psychedelic sequence is okay. It could be a bit better, like a bit more interesting. Or I would consider supporting it with a little bit more energetic, because somehow the track is pushing me into this direction, like maybe distorted basses, like to create a little bit more noise, or to pump a little bit more power into this part, because it needs, like after this is I think 1 minute of this, so after each minute it needs to jump on the next level, and somehow I feel it lack a little bit more energy in this part. So adding several, like maybe I don't know, certain a bit more powerful sequences to support this part of the track. Yeah, as I wrote here, like more drive or more reefs, like some sequences that are a little bit more powerful, and to boost the track in this part. Actually, on this part I was talking about, yeah, so this part over here, this one is good, even though I would now, when I listen it to the second time, I would increase a little bit power of this part as well, but this part over here, this it's solo, it's there. So somehow attention goes to that sequence, and honestly it's not that interesting. So that doesn't mean that you should replace it. If you want to keep only this sequence into this part, then you need to work on it to be more interesting, to catch attention a little bit more, or to add more different sounds to create this conversation between of them, and this switching from one sound to another can create a really good story, and you can use this sequence. So it's up to you, like which way or which direction you would like to go. And it lack a little bit more power in this part, so track needs to have the float. And this is advice now which you can apply to anything in your life. So one of the things that I learned is that really young I set certain goals. So for me, like the person, the guy growing up in Serbia during the really hard times in this area, so it was mission impossible for me to make a success. No money, no, like it really looked almost impossible when I had 16 years old, when I got so ambitious about making my musical career. But anyway, so I set myself 3 goals. Like I wanted to play Ozora, Universal Parallelo, and Boom Festival, and I was working on it. And first time I was playing all these festivals, I felt so good. And then I played them second time, and then I played them third time. So I really lost ambition. I lost the drive, as I already achieved my goals. And I don't know, because of my experience when I was way younger, that it was really harder in that moment. It was really hard for me, so I didn't know that I need to set new goals. So what I learned is that it's not the point of achieving your goals, it's on this path, on the path to your goals. So the same goes with the track. So the progress, like how it moves forward, how does it develop. And this is the pleasure. As music, it cannot be separate in a time. We cannot keep music on our hard drives, because it needs time to happen. So it's all about this journey. So I did maybe somebody will laugh, like the comparison that I did, but the more I go through life, the more I learn that it's not all about achieving or getting certain things. It's more on working on them and having a pleasure, and it's all about this journey. I mean, what is the life if it's not a journey? So it's the same with the music. So it has a certain story from the beginning till the end. So it's a certain journey through the musical journey, or whatever we're gonna call it. So how the track goes from each part to another, it can actually really influence how your music will sound. So try to follow the steps. Like if you are going up, if it's not up, then you need to add another things, maybe melody, more happening. So you need to keep the attention. You need to bring new stuff every 30 seconds, 1 minute. There needs to be certain flow up and down. And how we're going to do all of this, this is the game that we are playing with, manipulating the sounds and how we express our ideas or our stories. So in this part, it's nothing wrong with it. But I talk now, if you want to make a really good track, even though this track is really good, but if you want to push it to another level, I would consider in maybe helping certain parts, like to boost to another level. And this sequence is just not enough. It's 2 minutes. It's not that late in a track, but still I did expect more of the things to happen in this part. It's okay, just continuing and then just changing the bassline. Maybe I'm wrong, but usually when people do not know what to do next, they usually start changing small changes just to add something. I would consider maybe removing this melody and continue from the beginning, supporting with another sequence like more on a groove. I would go back on a groove, because there was certain happening with this psychedelic sequence, and there's the melody coming in like I would go maybe back to the groove, and that way switch from the track was leading in one direction and then you go in a different one. It's a kind of a surprise, and also the groove, this track already has a groove, so you just need to use it more wisely. Like, just bring it back on the kick and bass and the drums, and then just support with some rhythmical instead of continuing with the melody further on. And what I said, like in this part, like boom boom, like the bass line, like these upper notes are pretty short, and I think that the whole track will get a little bit more if you open a more cutoff. It really depends how you design your bass line, but or open the cutoff more, but this is going to bring more pluck on it. Also, what you can do, easiest way is on the filter envelope to bring up the sustain for, let's say, 10% more. So if it's on the 0 point, then bring it a little bit more up, just the sustain, so it does not close that much the cutoff, and it will create more bassline from. It's like it will be more open. It will have more of this low mid frequencies, like brooming. I don't know how would I explain this effect on the bassline. But yeah, the track has a great atmosphere. It really brings me to certain, I don't know, place which I really like. Like this sound, like I somehow expected more of them, like to go to track, like to just, I don't know, to scratch to the background, like I don't know, more noisy, more atmospheric stuff. I don't know, I have a feeling that this track could be in that direction a bit more. And also this crashes, I'm not sure would I use them. I know it's people use them not that rarely, or they use them often, but somehow when you are on kick and bass, I would keep, if there's only kick and bass, I would not use that much of the high frequency sounds, because once you bring back to kick and bass, the attention go on the low end, and once you bring something that has high frequencies, you are kind of using something from that field, and then you are spoiling that part when you bring the hi-hats. So once energetically, if you watch the track like kick and bass, like do, then you add the hi-hat, so you are bringing and you are expanding this or adding more sounds to cover more frequency range. And if you have like kick and bass and then I don't know, it just like jump from the low end to up there, and then once the hi-hats and the snare starts, it's not that big surprise. So I would maybe try to find another way to do the same thing you did over here, just not using the crash. I don't know, maybe even, I'm not sure. I think it would sound good even without it. Yeah, now when the hi-hat starts, it's not that much because you already used the crash before it. I would just delete these crashes before that and after in a track. It's the same thing applies. So 34, yeah, in this part, to create this more up moment, maybe you can start doing with the kicks like and filter them out with the low cut that way, so it's gonna rise up and create more tension. The same thing I said in the previous video. I don't know, I somehow, again, I still miss this da-da-dan, da-dan, this distorted, like maybe even FM, like something that supports, just to cut through there, it's gonna support this track really, really well. and I really think that what I say you will like, because somehow I feel the track is in that field. So I will jump to the break. It's really well done how it's going down and how it keeps down. I would just consider maybe it's really good, like everything stopped and keeping it down for, let's say, I don't know, 13 seconds. But then I think you should add something more on it. And also this atmosphere that goes, it can be louder, and also it can be in maybe few more layers just to support, to be a little bit wider, more interesting, like this. So here it's good, but as it moves a little bit forward, maybe another one just on the filter again, opening up and then supporting it, so it all the whole pad is rising a little bit. So you have one layer, you start with it, and then after a certain time you add another to the filter, like expand it maybe in a different octaves as well, maybe a little bit lower. So one upper, one lower, one middle, and that way you cover with harmonics, and in a frequency range you cover more of the space, and that way it's going to be way more interesting. And this is that replacement, like once you go down, there's no kick and bass, we need to add something to that moment so the listeners can attach to and don't get bored of just being the break. So once we stop, we should be careful, like how do we what sounds are we adding to it, so to not to spoil this moment of the break, but also it should cover a little bit more space, I think, as it moves forward. This, what I said, is not a must, but this is something I would do. So, okay, that's it. For level, more background sounds, keep the tension for, yeah, so this is it, okay. Atmosphere louder, yeah, in 442, like this atmosphere, it needs to be more louder. Add new elements to the break, maybe certain textures, like, I don't know, noises or something, just to increase this ambience that you already created in a track. 5-0 melody.
Today, students.
Yeah, so there's a boom and there's straight away the voice and the melody starts in the same moment. So I believe that every time we bring a new element, we should give it a little bit of space so that attention can go to there. And I mean, if you bring something and if you bring two elements in the same time, none of these two will get the attention they could. So the easiest way how I would solve this is I would bring the starting position of the cutoff on the filter on the lead melody a little bit way more down. So you give a little bit of space, there's only a voice and there's something in the low end, like, but so it does not interfere with the vocals, so that everybody can hear what the vocal says, and then beneath it start bringing this lead again. You already did it, I will just go a little bit lower in a frequency with the cutoff on this lead.
Today, students, we will talk about neurotransmitter.
And vocal, I think, needs to be for 2 dB up.
There are different neurotransmitters, each having different tasks. Our brain consists of billions of neurons, specialized cells which communicate with each other. Neurotransmitters are small molecules that transmit signals from one neuron to another, calls to synapse. In this way, they control all our feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions.
I will definitely lose these crashes, especially because now you are pitching it up and it's losing the sync moment. So the grid in your DAW, it does not have any sense anymore because it's repeating and it's going out of the grid. So all these crashes, I just would not use them in these breaks.
Now it's time to enjoy low.
Great. No hi-hats in this part. I don't know, for a certain reason I wouldn't use them. I would go more with the silence as it is, so without, because again it's gonna spoil up this moment, like coming back. It's not a must, but I think it would be more effective if you don't use this, and also going down. So the main point of this part is that it's gonna bring you up, so pull it down and to keep the tension to it. So you replace it with the sound, with the vocals. No. There's no need to support this with the hi-hats, especially because I already said, like, not using any high frequency elements in this part, just because once you bring them, they're gonna have way more effect if you didn't use them just before that.
Time for dopamine to spread happiness all over the brain.
And also, like, once you use the fills, I will consider muting everything, especially in this part, like just before something happens, like something big that happens. So stop, and then bring back everything. Even though if there's a delay on the vocal, you can use the fills, mute the melody, and then once you start, you can unmute. You can use the delayed effect from the melody itself. It will still sound good. And I don't know, in this part especially, I did expect a little bit more energetic moment of a track, like the point, like in the moment of a track when you're gonna point. In this track, I would choose to go with more of this sounds, da-da-da, rhythmically riffs, some rhythms. It can be only one note. It does not need to be, because if you use 2 or 3 notes, it can be even more interesting, like da-da-da, da-da-da, something more rhythmically. And all these sounds I would use that are short and a bit distorted, like da-da, da-da-da. And I think that the whole track will go to a little bit bigger energy. And another thing, I would consider, like, you have this open head, like which sounds really nice, but somehow it missed this open hat, like the proper one, like 909, and you can find a really good one in Kashmir samples, because I know that Kashmir made from Roland 909 drum machine, and this open hat is really good, and I believe that most of great sounding open hats are made from this one. So you pitching up or whatsoever, but as Kashmir has done it already, I would honestly advise to all of you to consider maybe using the Kashmir one shots. There are pretty good hi-hats there, closed ones, open ones. If you don't want to buy the whole pack, if you use the splice, you can find all of them on the splice as well. So it's pretty easy. It's not gonna cost you much, and you will also, I mean, if you use splice, then it's good because it's already there. Anyway, so this would be all for this track, and you are really close to make a really good track. I would just consider maybe boosting it, and also in certain moments, so if you use this small open head, then in this part, yeah, okay, so I usually use 2 of them, like one this small one, because I already explained this of the energetic steps of the track. So in a certain moment I can use this one like small. It's gonna bring like to the next step, like but then the next part I want to go full power, like so it needs to be a little bit bigger and more sharp. The open head is gonna cut to the track a little bit better. And I don't know, maybe a bit more loops if you want to increase the whole game, like loops, like hi-hat loops, something more on there. You can maybe use the rides, like because rides are good. You can use two notes in each quarter of the bar, like and then you can put a side chain on it, and it's gonna create this noisy feeling on the high frequencies, and also like zin, 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 zin. It's really good to bring the track to the upper level and to cover these highs a little bit better. And also maybe a few shakers if you like. It's really up to you, but I would consider just bring it, it's like there are 10 steps. If I say that there are 10 energetic steps on the track, you arrive to the level 7 or 8 and you didn't go to the 9th and 10th, and I did expect for this type of the track to go in that direction. Alright, so this is another 40 minutes. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon. So please try think about pausing, sending the requests, and I will announce when the time will be again, when I open a little bit more, when I cover more of the tracks, then I will have space for more tracks to review. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon in another video. Bye.